Hi, this is Carolyn Service with SewToBeStamping.com. The Christmas season is quickly approaching, so today I thought it would be a nice idea if I'd share a Christmas card with you. So I've made this fun little shaker card. It's not hard to make. I'm just going to show you how to do it. So let's get started. You're going to start with a piece of cardstock that real red that is 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to fold that, put a crease in it. Okay, that's going to be our card base. You can kind of actually set that aside. The next layer that we are going to want to use is green. Now I'm using Gumball Green here, which is actually a retired color, but I have some cardstock I want to use up, so I'm doing that today, but I highly recommend using our garden green. It goes very nicely with the real red cardstock. So the piece of green that you'll be using is going to measure 3 3/4 by 5. Now what I want to do with the green is to make this opening. So I am going to use Art Deco Labels Framelit. This is the second largest one. And I also want to put a little bit of texture on this frame. So I'm also going to use our Stars embossing folder that came in the holiday catalog. Okay, so you can do either one of these, first or second, it really makes no difference. You can either cut the hole with the deco frames or do the embossing folder first, whichever you prefer. And then what you're going to end up with is a piece that looks like this. So you can see, maybe you can see the stars in the frame, okay? And so what I'm going to do next is I am going to add a piece of a window sheet or acetate to the back of this frame. You can use any clear paper like this, even our clear envelopes or our cello envelopes. I like the acetate because it's a little heavier, so I think it gives it a nicer look. I recommend a good adhesive so that, you know, when people are shaking it around, it doesn't come loose from the piece of cardstock. So I'm actually going to use my multi-purpose Tombow glue, and I'm just going to actually run a line of it right along, there we go, right along the edge of the frame, the opening I should say. Okay, and then I'm also going to add just a dot in each one of the corners. Okay, and then I'm going to add this. Now the acetate is approximately 4 by 4, but you just want to make sure that it's larger, obviously, than the opening and just slightly smaller than the frame. Okay, and I'm just going to set that aside and let that dry for a moment. Okay, so then we need our piece that we're going to stamp our sentiment on, and I'm going to use the Christmas Bliss stamp set. Now, Christmas Bliss is a photopolymer set, and because there is no rubber as there is in the clear mount and wood mount, there's like some rubber between the block and the stamp. There isn't with photopolymer, so I'm going to create my own surface that has a little bit of give to it. So this is the paper piercing mat. I've got my piece of Whisper White cardstock, which measures 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and I have picked out this sentiment that I'm going to use. And one of the things I love about photopolymer is you can bend it so that the sentiment is not completely straight, but it has this bend to it, this little curve to it. So I'm going to do that. You just hold one edge, pull the other edge down, and just press tightly. I'm going to get my ink and ink that up. And stamp it. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to do is to add some, well, you can use either one of two items. You can either use mounting tape, which you can get in the store, which I'm going to actually use today. But one of my favorite things to use is actually the edges of your dimensionals. So these little pieces right here, don't throw them away, start saving them, because you can use them for your shaker cards. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to prepare our frame with the mounting tape, or like I said, you can use your dimensionals. Lost my scissors here somewhere. Hold on one moment, I'll be right back. Okay, so I found my scissors, and I'm going to just prepare this mounting tape. The one that I got measures, let's see, about an inch in width, and I'm cutting it actually into 3 different strips. Okay, so the first one I'm going to want to put alongside my frame here. I'll put it out a little further. There we go. And there we are. And the second one I'm going to put on the other side. And then I'm going to put 2 of them in on each end. Now you want to make sure these fit good and tight, so make sure that you're not cutting them too short. And then this one is going to go, and they don't have to be all the way out to the edge of your card, they just need to be out to the edge of the hole in your frame. Okay. All right, then make sure that that's all pressed down really well. Okay, I'm going to put that aside for the moment. Then I'm going to take my card background, and I'm going to prepare it for the frame. So I want to actually put some blingy bling stuff in the center. So I'm going to start with a button, because you always want at least one item in your shaker card to be a little bit thick so that things will shake around. Now, especially if you're using like a cello bag for your acetate, but with this you do have a little bit of space in the fact that the mounting tape is a little bit thicker than the dimensionals, so sometimes you could probably get away without using the button or a larger item. If you don't like that look, you could probably get away with it. Okay, then the next thing I want to add is a few beads. You can use whatever you happen to have around. This is one of those good projects for using up little pieces of this and that you have in your home. I'm going to add a little bit of mica flakes that we used to carry, Stampin' Up. We don't have any longer, but I like them. A little bit of diamond dust, which I actually bought at a craft store. Diamond dust, it's called. And then last but not least, I'm going to take some of our silver glimmer paper, and I've cut it in half and glued the back because this is flat, white on the back. And then I'm just going to take my fringe scissors and I'm going to cut make some confetti using the silver glimmer paper. You can also use the red. Okay, and I'm just gonna, now the reason I glued it together is because you don't want, like the back piece is white, so you know, you want to be able to have it glitter on both sides. And I'm just going to take a little piece of red that I happen to just have sitting here on my craft table. Oop. So I'm going to do that as well. A little bit, oh dear, didn't mean for that to happen. Get those off to the side. And there we go, a little bit of red. I think that'll be pretty. Okay, so I got enough bling now, I think. Actually, might be a little bit even too much of that. Okay, I like the way that looks. And then I'm going to just push it all to the center of my card. And you don't want to go overboard with the stuff in the center, because then you won't be able to see your sentiment if you've got too much stuff. And you definitely want to be able to see that. Okay, so just scoot it all towards the center of your card so that it doesn't get underneath the adhesive when we get ready to put that on. Okay, then you're going to take your frame again and you're just going to tear off the protective tape so that the sticky is now showing. And you want to make sure that your window sheet also doesn't have any fingerprints on it. Another thing that you can do is to take an embossing buddy and just lightly go over that. Should probably do that before you take the sticky stuff off. Sorry about that. That'll keep this from having like a lot of static in it and flipping up on the acetate. And then you just take this and line it up so that your white cardstock is covered. There you go. My red button is a little bit too thick. It looks, oh, here we go. No, fun, 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 fun. Okay, and then you're just going to take your card background. You're going to add this to it. I would recommend using, well, I'm going to use Fast Fuse on mine, but you could use the Tombow multi-purpose glue if you wanted. I would recommend using something fairly strong so that your shaker doesn't come off your card and people start to play with it. Okay, and then just add that on there. And there you go. How cute is that? I love it. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how to make a shaker card. It used to be popular some years ago, and now it seems like they're coming back again. So Merry Christmas to you. I know it's still a little ways away in my world at the moment anyway. We're just about halfway through October, I guess, but it's never too early to get ready for Christmas. Have a wonderful day. Again, my name is Carolyn Service with O2Bstampin'.com, and I am always at your service. So feel free to contact me if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you. Have a great day.